Of course, I think you must know by now that there is absolutely no difference. There is absolutely no difference at all. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi. And Krishna says, I am that, Shiva. In fact, in the Arati, we say, Shakti tumi, Shambhu Sanghari. So one time somebody asked me this question, why is he called Shambhu Sanghari? When did he kill Shiva? I said, no, he didn't do Sanghar of Shambhu. Shambhu Sanghari are two adjectives we are giving to Lord Shiva, that he is Shambhu, the ever benevolent, as well as he is Sanghari, the final person who's responsible to clean everything up. So there is absolutely no difference whatsoever. But sometimes what happens, cultural practices get enmeshed in religion. In fact, religion on its own is not a standalone thing. It's an intricate part of somebody's or some place's culture. And that's why the rituals that come about, that emerge from the religion, are part of that. As a result, what happens is those who were in a different region of India, if you look at the advent of Vishnuism, if I may use that term, it predominantly was linked to the coastal areas. And because it came from there, that's why they also believe that he's seated in Kshirosagar, because that's easy to perceive. If you look at Shaivism, the singular most important turning point in Shaivism was Kashmir. And Kashmir Shaivism was single-handedly responsible for spreading of Shaivism throughout the world. And they sat in snowy mountains. So they said Shiva must be seated on Kailasha or Amarnath and so on. So when something becomes a part of your cultural practice, then one day when you're asked to give that up, saying it doesn't mean anything, then it's never as simple as just giving up the practice, saying, okay, it means nothing. It is also about what does that do to your roots. So when we say, okay, why do we do Shraddh? What's the need? Why do we do Pitru Tarpan? And what's the need for such things? If we don't do those things, we won't remember our ancestors. And just look at how innate it is, this desire in human beings to be remembered for something. Even those who have absolutely nothing, they want to produce a child saying, "Hamara khandan aage badhayega, hamara vansh aage badhayega." तुम्हारे वंश में कुछ है ही नहीं, वंश का अंश भी नहीं है, और there is nothing. But that human tendency is so strong. And when there was only predominantly the Vedic religion, that was the predominant religion in Bharatvarsha and adjacent countries, long before Islam came about, long before Christianity came about, when maybe there were some pagan religions in Greece and Rome, and then you had Zoroastrianism in Arabia, and then you had other regional religions in different parts of the world, long before even Confucianism came about, long before Tao came into China. This was the only religion, so-called. And what is the definition of a religion? Something that says to you, look, I can tell you why you were born, and I will tell you what will happen to you when you die. And these are the rituals at the time of marriage, birth, and death. The moment these three things are defined differently from what it is, it will assume the form of a religion. It will no longer remain a sect or just a belief or a cult. It's now a religion. That's really the definition of a religion, so to speak. So it became a religion. It was the only religion. But we love to have arguments. We love to fight in the name of either kolokis, shastrartha, or whatever, or arguments. We want to have something. So everybody wants to somehow feel our God is the best, our guru is the best, our dad is the best, maybe not, maybe, or I am the best. People keep their passwords like that. I'm the best. So how do we then exert that superiority? That what I am doing is far more superior to what you are doing. And look at the religions that actually flourished. They are the ones who said with conviction, you follow what I'm telling you to do, and heaven is yours. So when that conviction comes through, naturally you are brainwashed. So many of the missionaries, for example, in different religions, they are sent out in the world. They genuinely believe that they are rescuing other souls, because they genuinely believe the other people of other religions are not actually going to go to heavens and so on. It so happened that this person died, and he was a very religious person, and he went to the heaven and he was taken for a tour. And there were different rooms there. So in one room, he saw a lot of Jain people rejoicing and praying and totally happy, blissed out. And he said, oh, okay. So, and he went to the next one. There were a lot of Buddhists, very happy, very still in meditation and all that, very happy. And he went to the third room. There were a lot of Hindus there, all the Shaivites and Vaishnavites and Shaktas. They all believed in the same bliss and happiness that they were there. Everybody was partying pretty hard. And then he went to another room, and the angel said, shh. He said, what? He said, you can't speak here. You have to be quiet here. Why? He said, why do you have to be quiet? And he looks in the room. There's a lot of people in white. And I mean, that's exactly how I read it. So I'm not. So they were the Catholics. He said, why do I have to be quiet around them? And the angel says, they think they are the only one here. So everybody thinks that what we are doing is special. But ultimately, as I always say, your conduct is your only sign of spiritual progress. Only perhaps accentuated by your thoughts, your speech, and your intention. So there is absolutely no difference. Sarva Sharva Shiva Sthano Bhutadir Nidiravya. I mean, he is Shiva, and Lord Shiva, why would he say to Mother Goddess Ram Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorme Sasranam Tattulyam Ramanam Varanane? Why would he? I mean, those are the things that are mentioned in our scriptures. But what is the fundamental fear of a minority? When anybody is in minority or a small group, they like to congregate. They like to mix together. They're always worried that somehow we will be removed from the equation, that somehow we will disappear. So what they do to enforce that minority, that thought process, what they do is they live together and they don't allow anybody to believe in anything to the contrary. That's how. So when a small sect, a regional belief or something, whenever they are in any kind of threat, under any threat, they like to dismiss all the other truths that may exist. They will say, my truth is the only truth. If, for example, you read teachings of Lord Mahavira, you will find them extremely superior, and you will find them somewhere they rank like really right up there. I mean, we hear about Gandhi's nonviolence, we hear about Buddha's nonviolent attitude. But if you look at Bhagwan Mahavira's, it was just another level altogether. But he was so detached, and because he was so fulfilled, he was, more than a prince himself, Tirthankar. So he did not place any emphasis on spreading his belief. Marketing something is a different thing altogether. So just because, for example, a religion or a belief is popular doesn't mean that belief is actually superior. Sometimes you will find your truth in some tiny corner of your life, hiding sometimes in plain sight, as opposed to a gigantic statue of something you'll say, oh, that is my truth. So there is absolutely no difference. And I think even this thought can be easily eliminated if anybody was to just read our scriptures and spend a bit of time reflecting on that. So that's my answer.